A big topic of conversation for a lot of new clients is normally sleep and how that can affect your fat loss, your weight gain, and your recovery. Here's the deal. Sleep is not optional. I know you're probably looking at that going, well, duh, but it's one of the most underrated fat tools out there. Now, I know you're probably going, what the fuck are you talking about, Fee? Let me explain. Listen up, take notes. When you don't get enough sleep, your hunger hormones get wrecked. Ghrelin, which is the hormone that makes you hungry, goes up. Leptin, the hormone that tells you we're full, we don't need no more food, that goes down. In simple terms, what that means is you crave more food, you're less satisfied with the food that you're having, and then all of that can mean your willpower tanks. It's not always a lack of discipline. Now, poor sleep also raises cortisol. This is a stress hormone. High cortisol is linked with stubborn belly fat storage and increased appetite. So if you're exhausted and stressed out, your body's basically saying store more fat just in case something happens. Remember, your body doesn't give a fuck what you want to look like. It's built for survival. Now, if you're dieting and you're not sleeping, your body's more likely to burn muscle instead of fat. One study showed that with sleep restriction, people lost the same amount of weight. However, more of it was muscle instead of fat. Now, that's madness. Imagine putting in all this work just so you lose muscle. Motherfucker. Now, if you're sleep deprived, your strength, your endurance, your coordination, all these things suffer, which means there's a likelihood that your performance is going to suffer. You lift less, you move less, you burn fewer calories. So sleep can literally affect how many calories you burn the next day. Now, sleep is when your body repairs its muscles. It also balances hormones and resets your brain. Now, if you cut that short, everything from energy levels to motivation just takes a hit. Now, one of the most simplistic ways that I use this as an example is in the gym. Everyone understands, or I hope you understand, and if you don't, you will understand it now. In the gym, we're damaging the body in whatever way and whatever exercises we're doing. That is not exclusive to just weightlifting. That is also including cardiovascular exercises such as running. So we're breaking the body down. The diet is giving you the materials to build the body back up so that it builds up stronger. Yeah, let's say it like that for simplicity. Now, when you sleep, that's when that repairing happens on your body. So if you cut the sleep down, or even as an extreme case, skip sleep, which I have done when I was in my teens, you miss that repairing the body portion. Hope that makes sense. Now, I recommend 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day. Is it going to be a massive issue if you have a day where you got 6 hours? Not really. However, if you start to see a pattern of you not sleeping as well for the 7 to 9 hours, then maybe it's something to start paying attention to. I've had clients who, for whatever reason, go to bed very late and then end up waking up early for whatever reason. And then when I ask them how many hours did you get, they will be like, oh, I got like 4 hours or I got 5 hours. It's okay, I'll catch up on the weekend. But that's not how this works. And the worst thing is when you're going to bed late because you're doing something that isn't necessary. As an example, I'm not going to cuss out people because they go to bed because they finished work late. That's a necessary evil. However, if you're sat on the sofa watching fucking Netflix, or you're doom scrolling, which I am guilty of doing myself sometimes, doom scrolling, right? And then all of a sudden the time goes and you're like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I gotta go to bed. And then you're getting up at like fucking 5 a.m. That's not good enough. That's where you need to start paying attention to this. So sometimes you might have to maybe set an alarm to say, lock everything off, time to go to bed. Look, fat loss isn't just about food and exercise. There is a third pillar, and that is recovery. And sleep is a massive part of the recovery process. So with all of this knowledge now, have a look at your sleeping pattern. And if it's a bit fucked up, fix it. That could be one thing that is stopping you from starting to make progress.